We're here in Cologne at the Call of Duty multiplayer reveal event for Advanced Warfare, the new game from Sledgehammer Games. The nerd. Yeah. What's new about the multiplayer? Isn't it every year the same?
Yeah. So there's a lot of new things. There was a ton of information. So I try to write down everything so we don't forget. One of the things you might have seen if you watched the earlier single-player trailers, they were teasing this. There are these exoskeletons that are sort of the new thing. It's sort of similar to what's in Titanfall, where you can jump and boost, and the grenades and the other different tactical stuff is sort of attached to that skeleton now.
For me, it was a reminder on the gummy bears we had on the Disney show, because there was a lot of jumping with the exoskeletons.
Yeah. So yeah, jumping is one of them, and you can boost when you're in the air, and you can smash down really fast and do a melee attack that way. So different abilities. There's a cloak. You can shield yourself. You can hover in the air. So you can choose between those abilities to add on it, but everyone can like jump and boost. And then the second thing you sort of choose in your skeletons is the type of grenade, and that's where you can choose a normal grenade, frag, semtex, smoke, all those sort of things we know from Call of Duty. They are now attached to the skeleton. The other thing is that this game is of course its own. It's Sledgehammer who has helped out doing map packs and that sort of thing before, but they have built the multiplayer sort of on Black Ops 2 and the Pick 10 system that was in there. But instead here they call it Pick 13 because instead you have the kill streak being part of it as well. So it's very similar to Black Ops in the pick system, where you can choose to have a lot of perks and no kill streaks, or you can choose up to 4 kill streaks and then have less attachments, for instance.
You had almost tears in your eyes when you heard that the kill streaks are back.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the next thing they've done is something called supply drops, which is sort of a loot system where you can, when you run around and kill and sort of earn XP. I asked about whether it was the same thing as in older Call of Duty games, where it's attached to you getting, for instance, 10 headshots or 100 headshots, then you might unlock a reticle or something. It's not that. It's just random doing, capturing flags, killing kills. You get XP and then you unlock stuff, and that can be 3 things. Weapon loot, where you earn like special versions of the weapon. So I might have an AK-12, and then you can find one that's a special one of those that is a little bit different. So you can
make more accuracy or more damage or something like that.
Yeah. And then it might have a different skin as well. But yeah, then this one might be a little bit better at damage, but might be worse accuracy or something. The other thing is character gear and reinforcement. So that's all different things that you can sort of use with your character. It can be a helmet or boots or something.
There's a hell of customization in the game, and when they was talking about the presentation, there was 350 weapons.
Yeah, they said.
And then they said over 100, but it was like there's a shit of lot weapons from the beginning. And then they announced the customization. Now that's what you probably want to earn money with.
It's the thing where there's a set sort of weapons. I don't remember how many it is. We played with like 3 assault rifles, 3 submachine guns, and that sort of thing. But yeah, then there's a lot more because you can pick up, let's say, the AK-12, which was one of them in there. That's one weapon, but then there might be 10 different one of those because there's different versions that you can sort of find. And the things you can find, the supply drops, the loot, come in 3 different levels. Listed, professional, and elite. So that's sort of like you're used to with loot games. Could be Diablo, where you can find legendary items and they're better. One of the new weapon, they don't have marksman rifles like there was in Ghosts, but they have instead added something called direct energy weapons, and we had one of those in there, which was sort of an assault rifle, but it was shooting a laser instead. And you might have heard about this, where it doesn't reload, but so you can actually keep shooting. But if you hold it in for too long, it will get overheated, and then you have to pause. But if you like do bursts or stop in time, you will never have to reload with that weapon.
But yeah, with exoskeletons and these kind of weapon, it really feels like Advanced Warfare because it was looked a bit more colorful and yeah.
All right, next thing is kill streaks. As I said, the standard is of course doing 3. I mostly played here with 1 actually, just the UAV, but you can choose up to 4. And what you can also do with the kill streaks, so they are part of the pick 13, but you can actually change the kill streak. So, for instance, you could have a sentry gun. That would normally be 1,200 points, whether you earn points by capturing or killing. But you could add things to that sentry gun. So you could say, instead of it costing 1,200 points, let's do one that's 1,300 and then it lasts longer. Or you can change it so it shoots grenades instead of normal bullets. Or that you can take it off and run around with it. And all those things adds points, so it takes longer to earn, but then you might find it a better kill streak. Then there's also co-op kill streaks. One example of that was the Warbird, where if someone gets that and they're shooting people, you and the team will get a notification that you can jump in and help, and then you can help tell the pilot who's shooting or the gunner where the targets are, so you can sort of paint targets for him. We already sort of mentioned the creator operator. There's a lot of customization, how you look. Virtual firing range.
This is very cool.
Yeah. So whenever you sort of are in the customization set up the classes, you pick a gun. Anytime you can press on the start button, and you're jumped into this firing range where you will be able to use the gun, try the gun. There will be targets coming up, and it's a really cool way of seeing if you like the red dot or the ACOG, and if you like a gun that's automatic or burst mode. So that's very cool.
I know that from FIFA and fighting games where you can test it right on pop. You have time before the game starts, and you can just say, how feels the weapon, and the customization you chose.
Yeah.
So that's really, really, really nice.
Yeah, we sort of used it here where they gave us time in between rounds to change our classes, and then we would change classes. But then you were done, you would sort of jump into the firing range and try out the guns, which was really nice, and see the different things you have there. All right, next thing, maps. We played 4 maps. That's what's being announced today. Biolab, which is a bio facility in Monument Valley. That was in a snow-covered area and then indoors. It had a lot of canister that you could shoot that would explode. Very vertical. There was a lot of roofs to jump on. Next one was Riot. It's a prison in Baghdad.
It looked kind of boring, but it played very cool.
Yeah. I think all maps actually were pretty good here. Sort of, it was a pretty good map. It's hard to say anything about it. It was blown up. There was blown holes in it. Ascend, which is a space elevator. That was more of a futuristic looking level.
This was the map I like. The other maps was better in my opinion. This was, I'm not sure. It looked nice, but this was not so interesting. And I don't know. But the last map we were missing, the Defender.
Yeah.
That's a really cool one.
Yeah, I would probably guess Ascend was probably the worst, but I think in general it was good maps. Last map, as we said, Defender, near San Francisco, sort of on the coast, and they had one of those dynamic map elements in there where they would, at some point during the thing, there would a tsunami would show up and sort of roll over the bottom half of the level, which was pretty cool.
So you had to jump on higher levels to not be in the water.
Yeah. And then there's the modes. We played Capture the Flag. Hardpoint is back, which for a lot of people is really awesome, especially in...
it's the Gamereactor crew. You always played Hardpoint with Black Ops, wasn't it?
We played it quite a bit, but it's also one of those specifically in esports that people are really missing out right now in Ghosts. It's probably my favorite game mode of all time, that and Domination, which is also back. Let's just run through the modes. TDM, Domination, Kill Confirmed, Capture the Flag, Search and Destroy, Hardpoint, and then 2 new ones, Momentum and Uplink. Momentum was a version of War, they said. We didn't play that here, but we played Uplink, which is the best way of describing, I think, is sort of like Capture the Flag done in Halo, where you have a ball instead of a flag, and you have to get it to the other enemy base. But while you have it, you can't shoot, and then you can pass it, throw it to your enemies, and you can also throw it to the enemy actually. Or to a teammate. So I can throw it to you if I'm about to get killed. Or if I see an enemy, you can throw it to him, and then while you have the flag, you can't use your gun. So if I throw it to the enemy, he can't shoot back, and then I can shoot him, which was pretty cool. Then they talked esports. Broadcaster mode is back. Ranked playlists, private matches. There should be all that stuff. They said they will have more info on that later. But it sounded really cool. Clan Wars is back. And I think that's it for my notes. Then it's just overall, I think it was super fun. Of course, it's first hands-on and it's very limited, but it seemed really cool. I had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, it was especially they have a lot of customization in there. Like I said, I think that they probably want to offer more packs for customization later, and that's not the weapon is the important thing because they have a lot of weapons, but the customization is the thing maybe which is more important.
Yeah, that's sort of the things they've started in the last couple of years. It's probably going to be more of that. I'm actually wondering how they're going to do that now, because before you would buy a skin for your weapon, there would be something you could unlock later. You could buy more, but if you find them as loot drops, do you need to buy them for them to be able to show up, or can you just the weapons you can find? Can you buy them instead? Well, again, that's further out, and we don't know all the maps and all that stuff. But I think it played really well. It was a lot of fun. You sort of have to spend a lot of time figuring out how the weapons are, but they felt good. Yeah, I think that's really it. It felt good. A lot of the modes and maps that we wanted were there.
There's an early access?
Yeah, I didn't actually see that proper. Something if you pre-ordered a certain a certain version of the...
There's obviously there's an early access version where you can play the game 2 days. I think it was November the 3rd, and the game is coming out November the 5th. And so for the big fans, they can play earlier. And yeah, I think that was everything they announced today.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Of course, stay tuned. We'll have more information soon, and we'll have interviews with the developers, Michael Condrey and Glenn Schofield here, who started Sledgehammer Games. So yeah, that's it for now. Stay tuned for more.
And watch the cool trailer.